Good morning, dear students. Today I am going to continue the chapter 8th standard, the first chapter, crop production and management. Okay, the concept is the crop production and management. So, crop production is an important work, it's an important task in order to feed all the population, in order to provide the food for the living organisms. So crop production and management is important. We have to take care, we have to consider as a major task. So the production of the crops and management involve some basic activities. It involves few steps. There are total 7 major steps included in the production of the crops and management. I have discussed the two major activities in the previous class. Which are they? The first one, the preparation of the soil, and second one, sowing the seeds. In the preparation of the soil, what we do? We set the field, okay, by leveling, by watering, and by tilling the field. So it could be the easy in order to, it will make our work easier in order to sow the seeds, in order to take care of the crops. So that is the first thing, preparation of the soil. Preparation of the soil means smoothing the soil, leveling the field, like that. Then the second step is sowing the seeds. In sowing the seeds, what we do? We select the good qualitative seeds, and we check the quality of the seeds. Then we seed the soils. By making use of the machines, we seed the soils, sowing the seeds. The third stage, the third activity in the production of the crops is the adding the fertilizers and manure to the crops. So what we do? We make use of the fertilizers and the manure. What is fertilizer? Fertilizer which is produced in the industry, in the factory. It's a chemical component. And we add the manure also. Manure is a natural, it is obtained naturally. We can prepare in the small area, in a field only. So in order to get the good qualitative seeds, good qualitative crops, we add the manure and fertilizers to it. And we have discussed about the differences between the fertilizers and manure, then advantages of manure. Today I am going to discuss about the next stage, that is irrigation. What is irrigation? Irrigation is the fourth task. Irrigation is the fourth activity. Okay, the fourth stage is irrigation. What is irrigation? Water is important for all the living organisms, for the growth and development. Like that, the plants, the crops also require the water. They require in large quantity, because the plants, the amount of water in plants, the amount of water molecules in plants is almost 90%. The plants have almost 90% of water in them. And along with water, they also absorb all these minerals, fertilizers through the water itself from the soil. So water is important for the plants, not only for the plants, for other living organisms also. Water is important. Water is transported from the soil. Okay, first the water is absorbed by the soil, then it is transported through the stem, okay, to all parts of the plant. Water is important for the plant in order to avoid it from frosting and to get rid of this hot air currents, because sometimes, because of the earth's surface area, during the summer season it gets very heat, so it harms the plant. That is why in order to protect the plant from the frost and from the hot air currents, supply of water is important. And the plants require more amount of water during the summer season. Especially during the summer season, the plants require more water. Why? Because during the summer season evaporation takes place. Evaporation process is more in the earth, in the soil, and in the plant also. From the plant there is lot of evaporation process takes place because of the hot sun. That is why. What is this irrigation? The supply of water. What is irrigation? The supply of water to the plant at regular intervals of time is called the irrigation. The supply of water to the plant at a regular intervals of time is called irrigation. This irrigation process depends on the plant, which type of crops you are planted. Some crops require large amount of irrigation, some require less. And during the summer season, irrigation is more important. We have to take care of this supply of water to the plant. Otherwise, the plants get dried up and we won't get the crops. And we have to take care when to supply, how much quantity of water is required, that and all we have to take care. And for the irrigation, we use different types of source. There are different methods. Now let us discuss some sources of irrigation. Some sources of irrigation includes the well, lakes, ponds, river, all these things. Some sources of irrigation includes well, river, ponds, lakes, then canals, small canals, dam, all these things. So we can supply the water through these water sources. So they are the irrigation sources. Now let us discuss about the traditional methods of irrigation. The traditional methods of irrigation means in the olden days, which type of methods they used to supply the water to the crops. So here what they do, they will see the from these irrigation sources the water is lifted up and it is supplied to the region where the field is. Okay. Water is lifted up from the irrigation sources and it is supplied and it is connected to the fields. So water is irrigated to the crops. We use different methods in the traditional methods. It involves some traditional ways are more chain pump, Dekli and Rahat. Nowadays, people don't use these traditional methods. Instead of that, they use the pumps. Okay, they use the pumps. They generate the water. They will pump the water from one place to another, from one region to another, and the way of irrigation vary from one region to another. So for the pump, the energy is supplied by the electricity, by the petrol, diesel, or using the fuel, or using the electricity. Okay, pumps are run. Pumps are able to run. The water is irrigated through the pumping system. Here they use the energy. They make use of the fuel or electricity. Okay, here people nowadays they use the modern methods of irrigation. Now let us discuss few model methods of irrigation. Okay, these modern methods of irrigation are very helpful. Economically they are very helpful, and it is a better way. There is no wastage of water takes place. Okay, it is very helpful method. The first method is sprinkler system. In the sprinkler system, what happens, this system is more useful on the uneven land where sufficient water is not available. Nowadays uh, the groundwater level is becoming very less, so this system is very helpful whenever there is no sufficient water is available in that regions. So what they do here, they keep the perpendicular pipes. Okay, they set the perpendicular pipes having rotating nozzles on top, are joined to the main pipeline at regular intervals. So one main pipe system is divided into so many perpendicular pipes. So at the top it have the rotating nozzles. So these pipeline supply the water to each branches. So water is supplied to all the field, all the lines in the crops. And when the water is allowed to flow through the main pipe under pressure with the help of pump, it escapes from rotating nozzles. It gets sprinkled on the crop as if it is raining. So when they on the switch on the tap, the water is supplied to all branches, all parts of the field. So all the crops will get equal amount of water from it. So this sprinkler system is very useful for the lawns. It is very useful for lawns, coffee planting and several other crops. All the water will once only washed away because of the uneven region. So a sprinkler system, what happens, how much amount of water is required for the plant, that much amount of water is supplied to it. So it is very useful in the lawns, coffee plantation and several other crops. The next system is drip system. In this system, the water falls drop by drop directly near the roots. So it is called the drip system. It is the best technique for watering fruits, plants, gardens and trees. So in the drip system, what happens, here there is no perpendicular connection of water pipes. The water pipe, the holes are in the main pipe only. In the branch in the pipes near the root of the plant, they make the hole in the pipe. In the pipe they make the hole. So the water is supplied drop by drop. The water falls drop by drop directly to the roots of the plant. Near the roots, it is connected to the roots of the plant. So this is also very useful technique in order to conserve the water. This technique is used in the fruit plants, gardens and trees. Okay, this system is used in the plants, gardens and trees. Water is not wasted at all. So there is no wastage of water because water is supplied to the plant drop by drop. That is why. So we can say that it is a boon in region where availability of water is poor. Okay, whenever in the place water is less available, we can use this method. This is a very useful, very productive method. The next step in the crop production is protection from weeds. What is this protection from weeds? Protection from weeds means sometimes in the field, okay, there may be chances of growing all these undesirable, unwanted, poisonous plants along with the crops. Okay, along with the good crops, there might be chances of growing these unwanted, undesirable plants. So these unwanted, undesirable plants are known as weeds. Okay, what are weeds? The undesirable These undesirable plants are called weeds. The removal of the weeds is called weeding. The procedure of removing the weeds from the crops from the field is known as weeding. So this weeding is important. Okay, why it is important? Because what happens whenever we grow the crops, whenever these crops grow, these weed will grow. These weeds will compete with the crops. Okay, they will compete with the crops for getting the water, nutrients, space and sunlight and all. So they will affect the growth of the crop. That is why we have to remove these weeds. They will interfere in the growth and development of the crops. And also sometimes if we allow these weeds to grow, they will mix with this when we harvest, we may harvest these weeds also, and sometimes it may cause poisonous. Sometimes these weeds may be poisonous, so these are not good. So we have to remove these weeds from the crops. The farmers adopt different methods in order to remove and control the growth of these weeds. Tilling is one of the method. Okay, before sowing the seeds, tilling, by the tilling method we can uproot these weeds, we can kill these weeds. So when we till the field, okay, what happens? The weeds will not grow. So this is the best method. And we have to remove these weeds before it produces the flowers and seeds. Otherwise it may cause poisonously. It is very dangerous if we mix with the good crops. If we consume, it is very difficult. We can use different methods for removing these weeds. The manual methods include physical removal of weeds by uprooting or cutting them close to the ground. Okay, the manual methods include physical removal, okay, by uprooting or cutting them. So manual removal of these the removal of these seeds is done with the help of kurpi or by the seed drill. Okay, either we can use the kurpi or we can use the seed drill in order to uproot these weeds. And we can use the weedicides. We can use the weedicides in order to control the growth of these weeds. So some weedicides are sprayed in the fields in order to kill these weeds. So they will do not damage the crops. When we use the weedicides, they will do not damage the crops. So these what they do, they will dilute the weedicides in order to extend the required and sprayed in the field with the sprayer. They will dilute the weedicides and they will spray using the they will spray in the field, and they will make note of it, how much amount is required to spray the field. They will consider all the points. And we have to take care when we weedicide, when we spray these weedicides to the plant. Okay, we know that they does not affect the growth of the crops, but it may affect the health of the farmers. So we have to cover our nose, mouth with the piece of cloth. We have to cover, so otherwise it causes some breathing infection and all, breathing problems, because these weedicides are made up of some chemicals. These chemicals may affect our health. That is why. So precaution is required while weedicide. The next step is harvesting. What is harvesting? Harvesting of a crop is an important task. The cutting of crops after it is mature is called harvesting. What is harvesting? The cutting of crops after it is matured is called harvesting. When it is a time for the cutting, when the crops are matured, we can cut the crops. So that process, that activity is known as harvesting. So it is also important task. In the harvesting, what they do, they will pull out or they will cut close to the ground. They will cut the crops how much ever is required. So usually the harvesting time, it usually takes 3 to 4 months after we plant, after we sow the seeds. Okay, it takes for the crops to mature, it takes almost 3 to 4 months. So the crops will grow within 3 to 4 months. So this harvesting process, harvesting method is either done manually by using the sickle or by the machines, or using the harvester. Okay, we can harvest the crops either manually or using the machines. Manually by sickle or machine using the harvester. After harvesting the crop, what is the next step? After harvesting the crops, we have to separate the grains from the seeds, from the chaff. Okay, we have to separate the grains from the chaff. So that process is known as threshing. What is threshing? The process of separating the grains from the chaff is known as threshing. So this threshing process also carried out manually or by machine. Okay, the machine is known, the machine which we use for threshing is known as combine. Combine is a machine which is used for threshing the grains. And this combine is a harvester as well as thresher. Combine is a harvester as well as thresher. Okay, farmers, the farmers who have the small area, small field, they use, instead of combine, they use this winnowing process. They make use of the winnowing process in order to separate the grains from the chaff. What is in winnowing process? You might have observed. And these farmers who have little lands, okay, they who have little lands, they don't use this combine machine in order to separate the grains from the chaff. They use the winnowing machine. They use a winnowing machine to separate the grains from the chaff. You can see this in the picture. The next process in the crop production is storage. Storage is also an important task in the crop production. The harvested grains, we have to take care. It has to be kept for longer time. So what we have to do? We have to store it in a safe place. So it should not. So otherwise, what happens? If you don't store, it will be consumed by the insects, microorganisms, or some small animals like that. So in order to protect from moisture, insects, rats and microorganisms, we have to store them in a safe place. And these harvested grains have more moisture. So what we have to do? First step, after winnowing, after threshing, we have to dry up the crops. We have to dry up. We have to keep it for drying. This is the first step in the storage. If you store the seeds, if you store the grains before drying, what happens? It gets spoiled. It gets attacked by the microorganism, because in the moisture the growth of microorganisms is very fast. That is why, and it makes making them unfit for use. We cannot use it for the further. That is why. and we cannot make use for the germination also. We have to keep it safe for the further use. So before storing them, we have to the grains has to be properly dried up in the sun in order to reduce the moisture. So this prevents the attack of grains by the insects, pests, bacteria and fungi. So have you seen the storage place? Go down. Have you heard? Okay, in the go down, how they store? They make use of the jute bags. They make use of the jute bags or the metallic bins to store the grains or the seeds or any crops. And in the large scale storage, they make use of the silos. Okay, the large scale storage of grains is done in silos or granaries. So this is how we can protect the grains from the insects, pests and bacteria and fungi. And you might have seen in your home, you might have observed this thing. They will make use of the dried neem leaves in order to store the food grains. So by keeping the dry neem leaves, we can avoid the attack of insects, bacteria, microorganisms and all. And storing the large quantity of grains in the big godown, specific chemical treatments are required. So in the large scale industries, they will make use of the chemical treatment. They will make use of the pesticides in order to kill the pests and microorganisms. Now let me explain in brief how the crop production and management is done by this video.
India, an agriculture-based country. Agriculture in India has an extensive background, and today, India ranks second in farm output. Agriculture is the science of growing food crops and other useful plant products. Different agricultural practices are used nowadays to increase the crop yield and meet the growing demand of human population. At first, field is prepared for sowing seeds. The process of loosening and turning the soil is called plowing or tilling. Plowing is done with the help of tool called plow, which are made up of wood or iron and driven by bullocks or by a tractor. Plowing also helps in removal of undesirable plants called weeds. The dead plants go under the soil and weeds get uprooted. Weeds can be also uprooted manually by hand. Weeds consume lots of nutrients, sunlight, water, space, and air for its growth. This restricts the growth of food crops. Plowed soil is pressed with wooden or iron plank for leveling of the field. The lumps of soil is broken up with a shovel. After preparation of the soil by plowing, seeds of good quality are selected and sown in the soil. Selection of healthy and good quality seeds plays a very important role in crop production. Nowadays, high production seeds like GM seeds are being used. Process of scattering or placing crop seeds in the soil is called sowing. Sprinkling the seeds in the soil results in their uneven distribution. Seeds are sown by broadcasting, manually by hand, or by the use of bullock or tractor-driven drill machine. Seeds are sown at regular intervals or at correct depth. Furrows are covered lightly by soil. Water is supplied to the soil for the proper growth of the crop plants in the field. Rainfall is not a dependable source of irrigation, so irrigation can be done by other methods like canal irrigation, furrow irrigation, or drip methods. Germination results in the formation of seedlings. This marks the growth of the baby plant from seed. Germinating seeds have delicate leaves that manufacture their own food and are not anymore dependent on the reserved food of the cotyledons. Plantlets growing very close to each other are transplanted to provide enough sunlight and nutrition. To maintain the level of nutrients in the soil, fertilizers are added to the soil. Organic waste like cow dung, plant and animal waste are used as manure. Manures increase the humus content of the soil. Earthworms also help in formation of humus. Crops in the field can be damaged by pests, which reduce the crop yield and grain production. Pests can be killed by spraying herbicides. Seedlings grow further into mature adult plants in few weeks. Irrigation water helps in proper absorption of the dissolved mineral nutrients by the plants. In few months, field of standing wheat crop with healthy, fully formed grains can be seen. Plants start to become golden yellow or drying up just before harvesting. Fully grown and mature crops are subjected to harvesting. Harvesting is done either manually or mechanically by machine. Grains of plant are separated from rest of the plant by beating them out by the process known as threshing. Separated stalks are used as animal feed. Chaff from the grains can be separated by dropping the grains from a height. This process is called winnowing. After harvesting, several heaps of grains are left unopened to dry properly. In villages, mud thatched structures covered with cow dung are used for storage of grains. Part of grains are separated and stored for the next season for sowing, while rest grains are packed in bins or gunny bags. Packed grains are transported by trucks or tractors to storehouses. Stored grains are then made available to the consumers by transporting the sacks of wheat through trucks to trains and finally to the mandi grocery shop or grain bazaar.
Okay, in this chapter we have discussed about how the crop production is done. So this crop production is mainly talks about vegetative cereals, grains and all. So we consume the food from the animal source also, that we are discussing in the another chapter. So they have given one activity for the further reference. So activity 1, make the following table in your notebook and complete it. So what you have to do, in the textbook only you have to make the list of food which is obtained from the animals. Okay, food in the second column write the food, and in the third column write the source from which it is obtained. So that will help you to understand the next concept. So in this chapter we have discussed about the crop production. So we human beings and animals, we are not only using these food obtained from the plant source, we also consume the food obtained from the animal source. Especially we people who are living in the coastal region, we are consuming these fishes and all. Only we are getting the good qualitative fish and all. So that is also the part of our diet. So let us discuss about that food in the next chapter. The food obtained from the plant source. How in this crop production several steps, number of steps are involved, like that in the food which is obtained from the animals, there also so many procedures takes place. Okay, that we will discuss in the next class. The food obtained from the animal source involves different various methods, and in order to obtain the food from the animals, people rear these animals at home or in the farms, and they will provide so much food, shelter and care. They will take care of the animals. So it is done in the large scale. How these so when it is done in the large scale, it is known as animal husbandry. The taking care of the animals, rearing the animals, and providing the shelter, food, caring the animals, when it is done in the large scale, it is known as animal husbandry. Let us discuss about animal husbandry in the next class. Thank you, students.